Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Since we have already had a look at the teaser, you guys know that the Hungarian aircraft line is coming to the game in War Thunder. And I thought we would have a look at the Devblog, kind of do it a little bit more casually since, I mean, to be honest, if you have a look at all the vehicles that are in this line, they're all ones we already have. There's nothing that's really new here, but one thing that has to be understood about subtrees is it's not about the fact that, you know, you need new unique stuff all the time. What it does is it bolsters a lot of the ranks of the actually pre-existing tech tree to make it either easier to grind or to actually build lineups, which is something that Italy has needed for the longest time. Across the board. Stuff like the Italians have really good propeller aircraft, but if you have a look at some of their other lines, so if we just quickly have a look in the game here, one of the issues they've had for the longest time is just this area here that a lot of it just doesn't feel great. You know, and as somebody who's spaded a lot of it, there's the Sabre Dog is not in a great place, F-84F is not in a great place, CL-13's an awful place, G-91s are okay, F-84's okay, G-91Y, I mean, come on, like, it's ridiculous, F-104S, right? So the idea is by adding the Hungarian aircraft line to these guys, you now have more bolstering of this area, and then also other BRs where it's required. So let's have a look at what the subtree for Hungary will look like in the form of aviation. You have a bunch of Second World War aircraft, but mainly it's Cold War stuff, right? One of the things that I wasn't sure of in the trailer was what the Yak was, and it turns out the Yak is a Yak 9P. So we already have that in the game. If you don't know, it's in the Soviet tech tree. And the biggest issue with the Yak 9P, if I can just show you it here, is the fact that its engine doesn't like to cooperate. And what I mean by this is above certain kind of speeds, but also above certain altitudes, its engine really doesn't feel great. The other thing is, though, it can get access to either 23mm or 37s, or 20s. Well, it has 20 stock, so that's how that kind of works. And so you can bring different armaments how you want to, which I think is kind of nice. So you either have 320s, 123 and 220s, or 137 and the 20mm too. So hopefully Hungary will get, you know, something like that. They're also getting the Tu-2. It doesn't specifically specify which Tu-2, so maybe it's kind of the standard Tu-2, which is, I believe, around here, the Tu-2Ss, or maybe it's the S-59. Like, we'll have to see which one they get. It's probably going to be a more modern version of the Tu-2, since this was used in the Cold War, and then also the IL-10, which once again is a mainstay of the Soviet setup. Like, all of these vehicles, one of the things that's really nice about them, they're all really useful in ground forces. And this means around the BRs of, you know, 4.0 to 6.0, mainly 5.0 and above though, you will actually have some vehicles that can CAS instead of just very dominant air superiority fighters, which is what a lot of the Italian planes are. They're incredibly good air superiority fighters, but they're not exactly great CAS elements. So then also, they had a bunch of other ones which are around the place. You can see here Yak 9P, IL-10 and Tu-2. And then this is where the main chunk of the subtree is going to be, though. You have the MiG-15 bis, which, if you've ever played the MiG-15 bis, incredibly good 8.7 vehicle, probably the best 8.7 vehicle in the game. Major issue the MiG-15 bis has is that because of decompression/compression, depending on how you see it, the 9.3 area is insanely strong. So at 8.7, the MiG-15 bis is a monster, but at 9.093 it gets clapped, and that's what makes it kind of annoying. The MiG-17 PF is also kind of an interesting one. So this is an afterburning MiG-17. So you actually may know what it is already in the game. You may have seen it previously, but just not realized it. It's the LIM-5P. The LIM-5P right here, which is a Polish-built vehicle, which was used by Germany, is a MiG-17 with an afterburning engine, the Klimov VK1, and also the radar in the front to make it an all-weather kind of fighter slash interceptor. So the LIM 5P is what the MiG-17 PF is. So even though it's got a different name, it'll basically be exactly the same as this thing. Then you have the IL-28, you know, we all know the IL-28. It's in a bunch of tech trees now in the form of the H5 and the IL-28. You even have the good old SH, which is in the Soviet tech tree, which is really fun. And then also MiG-21MF. So we also have the MiG-21MF, I believe. I'm going to keep saying that over and over and over again. Yep, there you go. MiG-21MF. Now, if you've never played the MiG-21MF, really fun, really enjoyable, really good machine, has 4 R60s, has good countermeasures, you know, the gun is terrible, but everything else about it is fun and enjoyable, and at the same time you do get access to stuff like R3Rs, so you can do semi-active stuff if you want to, but I think the R60s is kind of the way to go. You basically just go above the enemy, drop down, bang bang bang, and then go back to base, and then have a bit of fun with it. So yeah, the MiG-21MF is coming to Italy in the form of Hungary, so is the Bissau, so the 1101. The big difference here is the engine, and then also gets access to all aspect R60s, which is a huge deal, especially at the BR of 11.0, where it definitely needs them. The MiG-23MF is also coming in, which is very similar to the MiG-23M, which is in the Soviet tech tree. Just recently did a video about the MiG-23M and its ramifications in life. The MF is the export version of the M. So you'll get the R-23T, R-23R, you'll get the R-60M missiles. So if you want to know my opinion about this thing, you know, you can see that video that I did earlier in the week or maybe last week. Let's just say I'm not a fan. So some people might be a fan. I am not one of them. I very much struggle with this vehicle because the missiles themselves don't really suit how the vehicle works. Then Su-22M3 is also in the game, I'm pretty sure. Going to be saying that quite a lot over the next little period. Yep, you got the M3K, which is here. Then also there is another Su-22. Was it for the Soviets, I think it was? Yeah, so the Su-22M3 is literally in the game in itself, right? And then also you have the MiG-29 912B, which is probably similar to the 913, or probably similar to the MiG-29 912A, which is right here. We'll be incredibly surprised if they're any different. And then the last vehicle in the tree is, of course, the JAS-39C, which is also already in the game. So the great thing about this tech tree is you can actually just check all the vehicles in the game already. You literally don't even have to do any research. You can just see how they are in the game and understand they're going to be exactly like that in the Hungarian tech tree. So of course there's going to be a lot of people, by the way the camos are really nice. Of course there's going to be a lot of people who are going to naysay this subtech tree because it is completely copy and paste at this moment in time. The only thing that's going to be different is the camouflages that they have access to. But if I'm honest, when I think about a tech tree like this and I think about Italy and its current setup, this is kind of what Italy needs. It needs a bunch of different additions to it to make it more fun, to make it more interesting, and this is how you end up doing that. So hopefully people enjoy it. It also means if you want these types of vehicles like the Gripen or the MiG-29, this is the easiest way to get access to them because it will need the least grinding compared to pretty much everywhere else. So if you are hungry for these things, you can just play Hungry and get them all. As always though, I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time. I'd like to thank Schnitzel Stroker, Brendan Quinn, Vilneus, Character Fuel, Carrion Crow, Nicholas Richardson, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, B. Young, Opium Prime, Masonocrat, Lafouche, Alan Hacker, Sem Arslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.